they no doubt establish or seek to establish a government corporation.
We're not creating a charter. I believe in this Maharlika Wealth Fund. But
Maharlika Investment Corporation. If there is a fund, nobody manages the fund. So what happens?
any one of you here can hear this bill, I'm sure, with professionalism and dedication. It's just that it is the matter of referral on which proper committee should handle it. Has nothing to do with the chair. Those who are not in favor, please raise your hand. The majority has it.
How is that possible, Mr. President? 4, 6, 10, 11, 14, 18 people on the floor, Mr. President. How is that possible?
We have no plans to come up with a fake vote.
I think the correct and proper committee to be the primary committee would be our Committee on Government Corporations and Public Enterprises, because undoubtedly the two bills create a GOCC, but it does not create a bank. It is not about currency, but is it about the third subject matter of financial institution under the committee that we referred it to? Hindi po. We looked at the definition of a financial institution. That is an institution under the supervision of the BSP. That is a quasi-bank or an institution similar to a bank. That is an institution which deals with the public, so that money collected from the public is directed to those in need of funding, Mr. President. So this is the position of this representation, that those bills are better referred to the Committee on Government Corporations and Public Enterprises, because they no doubt establish or seek to establish a government corporation. So I so move, Mr. President, that we correct the referral, Mr. President.
First of all, Your Honors, before I recognize the Majority Leader who will give us a direction on the ruling, the House of Representatives used also the Committee on Banks and Financial Institutions to take this measure up, and they passed it under that committee, having several other committees behind it, but the lead committee was Banks and Financial Institutions. And if I'm not mistaken, what is being established here is a financial institution of government. It's a funding source. It will be used for funding mechanism, and therefore, on the face of it all, it seems more appropriate to leave it with the Committee on Banks and Financial Institutions. Government corporations are more or less, if we're going to set up a new GOCC, government-owned and controlled corporation, and create a charter. We're not creating a charter. I believe in this Maharlika Wealth Fund.
Yes,
Mas tugma ang Committee ng Banks and Financial Institutions and Currencies na i-refer dun sa committee ba na yan?
Mr. President, if
Yes,
you
Minority
allow
Leader.
me again to react. We thank the Majority Leader for reading some sections of the bills. Precisely, it identifies the source of the initial capitalization of this entity that these measures seek to create. That is why it makes them a government institution. Yun po, ang pera galing nga sa pera ng government institutions din eh. So yun po yun. It does not make it all the more that the sections read by the Majority Leader support our position that we are creating a government corporation called the Maharlika Investment Corporation, because we cannot have a fund. There is no manager of the fund.
But
It's a
Your Honor,
corporation which manages the fund.
but with due respect to the Minority Floor Leader, if you read the bill that was filed by Senator Mark Villar, the establishment of the fund is the primordial concern. It's the establishment of the fund. And several sections later is the creation of the investment corporation. So if you look at the priorities, the establishment of the fund, therefore, the primary committee really to handle this is banks and financial institutions. Secondary yung government-owned and controlled corporations. That is my reading of this bill. And that is also what had transpired in the House of Representatives. And I feel personally, of course, the body can decide today. Personally, I feel that it should be in the Committee on Banks and Financial Institutions. Of course, if there's a motion from the good gentleman, we can decide today. And we can vote on which referral it will be placed in.
Government corporations and public enterprises, with all due respect to the minority leader, all questions affecting government corporations. So it would appear that there should be an existing government corporation, and questions affecting the said existing government corporation would be part of the jurisdiction of the said committee, including amendments to their charters. In this case, Mr. President, there is no government corporation in existence which would handle the Maharlika investment funds. No amendments to a government corporation in existence would be under the jurisdiction of the committee. And further, Mr. President, the mere mention of GFIs, which is still a work in progress, would not be sufficient to lodge specifically on the said committee the Maharlika Investments Funds. So, Mr. President, the first referral to the Committee on Banks would be in order, with all due respect to the minority leader, and the secondary committee can be the government corporations and public enterprises. Just a manifestation, Mr. President.
Magkamukha. They're similar. You can say it's a fund, but fund will not function without decision makers. And the more critical here actually is the Maharlika Investment Corporation. If there is a fund, nobody manages the fund. So what happens? So it's the corporation which is important, Mr. President. So anyway,
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, we can go on and debate on this matter, but if the minority leader would pursue his motion, I will have no other choice but to object to the motion, Mr. President.
The Deputy Minority Floor Leader would
The
like to be
Deputy
heard.
Minority Leader would like to second the motion of the Minority Leader, Mr. President.
May I, Mr. President?
Yes, the
Salamat kayo,
Deputy
Mr.
Minority Floor
President.
Leader is recognized.
So just to complete this, I respectfully second the motion of the Minority Leader. Salamat kaayo.
Thank you very much. There is an objection from the motion of the Minority Floor Leader to refer it to the Government-Owned and Controlled Corporations Committee, the GOCC Committee, and there's an objection by our Majority Floor Leader. Maybe just show a raising of hands na lang. Those who are in favor of referring it, those who are in favor of the new referral of the Minority Floor Leader to the Committee on GOCCs, please raise your hands. Those who are not in favor, please raise your hand. The majority has it. Motion is lost. Any one of you here can hear this bill, I'm sure, with professionalism and dedication. It's just that it is the matter of referral on which proper committee should handle it. Has nothing to do with the chairman. Thank you.
Which I think is important, Mr. President. Primary committee is also important because the chairman schedules the hearings, calls the resource persons, drafts the committee report. May we, Mr. President, may we request that the voting result be announced? Because there was, you counted, but you did not announce the result.
There was a showing of hands. As I can see, there's 2 objections and 1 abstention. So all those who are here, can we have the score? Those obviously who did not abstain or object or join the motion of Senator Pimentel have voted. So 19 in favor, 2 negative, and 1 abstention. Sorry, baliktad. 2 in favor, 19 objections, and 1 abstention. Yeah. Shall I repeat? It is 2 negative votes, 1 abstention, and 2 affirmative votes, 1 abstention, and 19 negative votes. To your motion, Your Honor.
How is that possible, Mr. President? 4, 6, 10, 11, 14, 18 people on the floor, Mr. President. How is that possible?
No, because the senator, the rest had gone inside. We had Senator Binay here, and they went after the voting. They went inside to partake of the preparation made by Senator Tolentino, but they were inside. We have no plans to come up with a fake vote.